a shape in here or some sort of design where the actual, like Intarsia, Intarsia, I think. That's gonna be my best guess. I'm not a great speller. So you want the actual stitches to be other colors. And I can do as many colors as I want. Right now, I'm just gonna show you with one color. It gets kind of complicated when you do more than one in terms of using the carriage. You might as well just start manually knitting all of it, basically. But let me show you how you're gonna do this for just like a simple shape. So if I have, let's say I have, you know, a number of stitches in the middle I want to be blue. What I'm going to do is I have 3 sections, right? So think of the yarn being in one line. I've got a red section, and then a blue section here, right? So I'm gonna have to, if I'm using the carriage, I'm gonna have to pass it over here, manually knit this part, and then pass the carriage over here. So it's 3, I was waiting for you. I'm glad you're back. Okay, so it's Intarsia. Sorry. No, it's okay. I was just gonna show you again. I wasn't sure how long you'd be. So basically think of this line as, you know, one line, and think of how many color blocks you have in that one line. So I've got a red section, I'm gonna do a blue section and a red section. So I'm gonna do the red with my carriage, I'm gonna do the blue manually. So that means I have 3 different things to do to create one row, which means if you're using your row counter, you're gonna be passing it back and forth, but you really just do one after a whole bunch of passes. So let me show you. So I'm gonna do this section, and then I'm gonna do that section, and then I'm gonna do that section, and then that completes one row. And then I'm also gonna have a whole bunch of tails to tie in. So that's the fun part of Intarsia. All right, so this is my first pass. I'm on hold because I only wanna knit on these ones. But you can see when I go across here, I'm gonna have this here, but I can't continue it without, unless I wanted a huge float in the back. But normally when you have Intarsia, you don't want that big float. So technically I could do it without cutting it, but you'd have a giant float. So I'm gonna cut it because that's basically what you're gonna need to do. That's gonna be a tail to tie in. And I don't have a clothespin with me. And then this part, I'm gonna manually knit. So just pulling this through here to create these stitches on the ones that I want to be blue. Let's say this many, and then I'm also going to wrap the edges of the other ones. So, because it'll leave a hole right there, right? So I'm going to do 3 blue ones, and then I'm going to wrap the edge of this one too, like that, and then wrap the edge of this one too, like that, and like that. And then if I have a clothespin, that would be super helpful. And then now I'm gonna pass it this way with all of this stuff on hold, put this back into here, and I'm gonna knit on this side, and then that completes one row. So it's a lot of work for one row. So basically I'm and I can do as many colors as I want in there. I'm hand knitting the design in is basically what I'm doing. And I'm using the carriage for the edges. So one way, get in there. One way going this way, one way going that way, but that completes one row. So it feels weird because I'm going opposite ways, but this helps me because now, I mean, I'm gonna have 2 tails to tie in. So I'm gonna go this way, and then I could leave that if I wanted a giant float and then knit on those, but I don't, I wanna come back this way. So then I'd be ready for my second row. So that's one row. Next row is gonna be these going in. I'm just gonna make a square because that's the easiest thing for me right now. I told you it's a lot of work. So there's usually 1 to 0 people that want to do this. But I mean, I'm gonna show you because there's, you know, there could potentially be 1 person that wants to do it. It is a lot of work, and you can create really beautiful designs. The other thing I've seen it used for that was really, really pretty was there's this design that was like, it was like flecked, kind of like a flecked ombre kind of design, and the only way to do that with a machine is to do it with Intarsia. So, you know, think of it, you could do it with a whole bunch of stitches, like a big design, which makes it worth it. You could also do it like one little stitch here and there or something to create, you know, some sort of, you know, organic looking color flecks or something. That was a really, really beautiful jacket. It was, that she did, turned out like, I thought it was really cool. All right, so then second row, I'm in hold, I'm doing my first pass, my second pass, and see all these tails I'm gonna have to tie in, all of them. So make it worth it if you're, you know, if you're doing something, you're gonna have to do this for every single row. You're gonna have like 4 tails to tie in. I know, most of you aren't gonna do it, I get it.
So do you have to cut the blue for every row?
You know what, I don't have to. I could leave it. I could leave it and have a clothespin. Just make sure you're working from this end. If I'm doing the blue like as a square, I could definitely leave it and then coming up this way and just continue. Just make sure you're working from this end and not a tail end, because the tail end would end. So no, the red I definitely need to cut unless I want a big float behind it. But this one, if